Hey everyone, welcome back to Carrots and Olives. My name is Brittany. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And for those of you who have been following me for a while, I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad everyone is here. I'm really excited for this video because I've been thinking about making a video like this for the longest time. And now it's kind of coming into fruition. I have been working with the iPad for upwards of 3 years now, and it has all been trial and error. I think I have purchased Procreate probably 4 years. When I first got the iPad, I purchased Procreate, and it was at the time when Procreate was only $4, I think. I'm completely shocked that it's more than $10 now, I think, and it's crazy, but it's nice to know that when you do buy something, you don't have to pay for it again. I haven't bought anything else from Procreate since then, or had to pay anything else, which is nice, but I really do like this program. And it has taken a lot of trial and error. I have watched a few YouTube videos over the years of how to work certain features. I have never taken any graphic classes through the university or anything like that. I've always enjoyed artwork. I have always enjoyed art and drawing and doodling ever since I was a little girl. If I did not go to college for a chemistry degree, it would have been to go for art, because that's how much I enjoyed art. But then I really liked math and science. So it's kind of weird because I think those are from two different sides of the brain. Anyway, getting off topic. So I have wanted to do a tutorial on the iPad for quite some time now, and this may not be the exact tutorial that you may need as a beginner, but I thought I would start off by showing you how I like to use my iPad in general, and then with any questions that there are or anything specific that someone might want more information on how to do just from watching this video, I will go into more detail with that. So you could see here I've actually been drawing for a while because I've just been talking, but I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity to try something different with my Etsy shop and to add kind of theme type sticker kits. And I decided that this theme for today would be Farmhouse Kitchen. I love the idea of having a farmhouse kitchen and having like the white porcelain type of appliances and just the really nice, clean but rustic look. So that is what I am drawing today. I have pulled some ideas from Pinterest and Instagram, just some photos of different farmhouses and farmhouse kitchens, and just trying to pull particular shapes and colors and different like textures there are within these pictures. So I did that before I started this whole video, and then as you can see, I was doing a whole sketch layer. So I had a whole layer of just all my sketches of the different ideas of stickers that I wanted to put on the sheet. My favorite brush to use for sketching is actually a 6B pencil, just because you get that rough edge and it looks like a pencil. So I was using that, and I like to use it with the streamline on 0 because it allows me to really sketch things out and don't have to worry about the lines being perfect or even, and my pencil can flow more quickly that way. Once I get my sketches down, I then go in individually within each sketch to start coloring. Now, this process, I realized in order for me to minimize a lot of work in the final portion of producing my sticker sheet, I find it better if I were to make sure all of my stickers were on the same sheet. So what I do now is I will take each individual picture that I do want to color in, and I will adjust it and move it around the screen to make sure that all the images aren't too close together. I have enough space in between them to make my cut lines for the final production. And then I will go in individually and start coloring them in. And what makes this very easy to do is using your layers in Procreate. Procreate is very similar to Photoshop when it comes to your different layers, and I find it easier to color my images with different layers and then to flatten the layers and make the image. So that's what I'm doing now with the watering pail and the plants. And my favorite tool to use when coloring it in, if I do want my images to look more sketchy, is to use the dry ink tool. And this has that look of having a crayon, and it just gives it a nice effect. So I use that tool, and typically the best way, in my opinion, to use it is to make sure you are coloring in with your pencil and not using the dropper tool to fill in the color, because then the color becomes completely opaque and you don't see those little like pieces of white showing through or the background showing through to give that interesting effect. In this video, I had to skip around a little bit just because I actually don't have the space to be able to film every single detail. I do plan on getting more, but as for right now, I don't have the space. So you see that my image had jumped from working on the cutting board, and now I'm working on the bread pan. So this is kind of a good thing because I don't want you guys to get bored of watching the same thing over and over again. But again, I will go into more detail on specific things if you have questions. So I do want to make this iPad tutorial more of a series, and to show you how to do anything specific that you guys may be interested in. So now you can see that I moved on to the bread pail, and I am working on shading. When it comes to shading, I like to separate the shading and add it on top, and then to change the opacity, add multiply, and then just to make some adjustments from there. Now you can see that after I finish every image, I do make a white box around it, and that is to create my cut lines in my Cricut machine. And so that's not typically something you would do if you are just drawing for something that's going to be produced or printed. It's just for me personally because I print it myself and then I cut it myself, so I need those lines in there. Now I would say that this project took me longer than I expected. It was over 2 hours of footage, and after I've condensed it, it's about a little bit less than 20 minutes long. And I don't think I could talk for that long. So I'm going to be putting on some music, and I may interrupt throughout the video to explain a few things that I'm doing. But again, I'm leaving it up to you guys to ask questions. Please ask questions. I want to share my knowledge, and I think it's important to be able to share what you know. So I hope you guys found this video helpful and interesting. I did make these into actual sticker sheets. And if you're interested, please consider looking at my Etsy shop to see how they came out. I'm going to show you a picture at the very end of what they look like. I think they're really fun. I think I have 2 different sizes, so I decided to make a larger sheet that can, are a little bit larger images. And then also, of course, I had to make the smaller sheets that will fit into your small journals and planners, like the Hobonichi weeks, which I'm all about, and even your pocket planners and things like that. So please enjoy the remainder of the video, and don't forget to post any questions down below. I am happy to explain my processes, and I look forward to reading your comments. So I must say, if you guys are this far into the video, y'all are awesome, because I know that I've probably lost some people along the way. I do want to say I am probably 4 hours into this artwork right now, and I am in love. I think that I would say the best thing to help with making sure everything looks cohesive is to pick a palette of color and stick with it. So it's easy to do that by clicking on the top in the circle on the far right corner and to make a default setting for your colors. And that's what I did at the very beginning, which I forgot to mention. But I think that is the best tip I can give you when it comes to making sure everything looks cohesive. Also, to use the same shading color, which I did here. I picked a gray for my shading color and then set it to multiply so that across the board it would all look the same. And then in the very end, when in post, I transferred everything over to Photoshop and then adjusted the color slightly just to make it a little bit more vibrant, because my printer can kind of desaturate the color. And I did that, and then I'm going to show you the final results. Also, I did want to mention that the video is going to get a little bit dark in the background because, again, I had been working on this piece for quite some time and I wanted to finish it in one sitting. And so although you see the background get dark, the iPad is lit, so you could still see everything. I'm sorry if that bothers you, but it is what it is. And I'm so happy that you guys have made it this far and that you are following me. You guys are an inspiration to keep me going, and I am so happy to have you here. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.